We're going to talk about the top 10 tests you'll face from women in today's video. My excitement at the prospect of discussing these 10 tests stems from my deep interest in the topic at hand. Once I've broken them down for you, from A to Z, you'll be able to spot them from a mile away. Yes, let's start right now. First of all, what is the preliminary evaluation? You'll start noticing it right away in any woman. Currently, you're in a relationship. We'll see how well you follow instructions as our first test. It means exactly what it says, observing whether or not the individual in question conforms to the constraints imposed by the surrounding context. Possibly she's trying to persuade you to do some work or chores. The point is to test your level of compliance with that framework. Many men wonder aloud, well, why do women do these things? Let me tell you something. Every woman who submits herself to an erotic test has her own reason for doing so. As a result, she has a tendency toward hypergamy. The ultimate goal of the compliance test is to determine whether or not you will comply with the demands made by a woman. You are currently witnessing a request. She wants to know if you're feeling faint. In that conversation, she's gauging whether or not you're starting to feel attraction for her. If you want to know how to ace this quiz, read on. This is very basic in the end. It's up to you to decide if any of these things are desirable. Regardless of whether or not you're interested in doing it, stop doing them if you don't want to. In that case, this would be the first. Okay, keep this in mind and ready to use at all times. The second is the competence test. Women will interrupt you periodically as they test your competence. But what exactly is a competency test? She wants to see how manly you really are. Let's define masculine competence, shall we? Please give this some consideration. Isn't it true that older men gain wisdom with time? So you need to learn how to get around, how to make the most of their money, how to create value for themselves so that they can compete successfully in the job market, and how to grow and develop personally and professionally. These abilities are crucial as you are put to the test of your resilience. Why would a woman care if you can pass these tests of competence? And that's because she's keen on realizing that this is, in fact, her best bet. For a man, there is nothing more vital than investing in his own growth and development. Here are a few examples of the kinds of things your girlfriend might occasionally say. Okay, I bet you can't is the first dare. I have no doubt that you are unable to pull this off. I'm willing to bet you have no idea what you're doing. Bet you can't pull this off. This is a test of your level of skepticism. Her doubt is founded on a fundamental inability to accomplish the task at hand. Second, you'll hear, I can't believe I'm with the man who doesn't even know X or Z. I can't believe I'm with the guy who doesn't even know how to change a tire. You will hear things like, I can't believe I'm with the guy who doesn't even if you know how to fix a computer. And finally, the last item in this group is something that will get you laughed at by the ladies. Though the why behind this may be the more pressing question. Exactly why are they acting this way? Simply put, it's due to the risk of an erosion of specialized knowledge. You need to know what women want if you're worried about a skills gap. Survival value is the first. The reliability value comes in at number 2. On its own, this will be a litmus test of your overall competence and the value you bring to the table in terms of survival. That's just the way biology works. We humans just have this ingrained in us. Taking a good, hard look at this will reveal its true nature. The third most important thing will be frame control. What is it that a frame check ensures? So let me give you an illustration. Say you're the one behind the wheel and you decide to go to Wendy's or Pizza Hut for lunch. That's 2 simpler examples. This will be a simple, straightforward illustration. It's called frame control for that reason. Frame control will present an antagonistic attitude. I'm going to test the waters to see if she can be your boss and take charge. We can't understand why she'd want to take charge. What I can tell you is that she is skeptical of the stability you can provide. If the woman you're seeing has mental or emotional control over the situation, she's probably weak. In the long run, this means that man will never be able to keep that woman's head from rolling. Because of her worry, you should exercise extreme caution at all times, not only to maintain command of the frame, but also to steer it in a direction that serves your mutual interests. All right, so you've decided we're going to order pizza. Also, I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit. Nice little pepperonis. I'll take some, and I hope you'll take some. In any case, whatever it is you want to say, do so in a humorous and flirtatious manner. You will occasionally encounter a fourth test, and with it comes a set of guidelines. There will inevitably be a rules test sometime within the first month or two of dating. Before she tries to impose rules on the relationship, the first day or month will go smoothly. I don't understand why she's acting this way. By doing this, the girl is testing your verbal abilities and, more importantly, your awareness of the game. If you're serious about winning, you'll learn to use flirtatious tone and contextual clues in your conversation. This is the fourth test that every man must take in order to advance in the art of seduction. The fifth test will be the couple's future together. It's my favorite kind of test to detect. So she's always quoting podcasts like, well, I heard on a podcast from XYZ girl who believes that this is the proper way to proceed things. You might want to rethink your relationship. Or, I learned that this is the proper method of courtship from XYZ author's book. And if you don't, I'll tell you what. I listened to Becky when she said that a man who doesn't commit to you in ABC time doesn't love you and isn't worth your time or XYZ's. Why would a woman put you through such a test if she intended to keep dating you? Because she has doubts about your ability to lead, that's why. For a moment, consider that. So, what does it say about you if the girl you're seeing is willing to accept Becky's assessment that she needs a strong man to carry the relationship? What does that say about the woman's self-perception, really? You need to be able to recognize the sound of things that are deeply wired. However, few men actually notice these. The comparison test to other men will be the sixth and final test. As a woman, your best bet in this test is to end the relationship or the interaction if you have a habit of making comments about other men's appearance, income, or status that are not your own. You've probably let one of the other 5 things happen far too often, so respect for you will never return to its previous level. The 7th will be the relationship's litmus test in comparison to others. The girl you are seeing will ask, well, why does Mandy get XYZ roses twice per week? Okay, this is where the girl you are seeing will ask you to explain yourself. What I really want to know is why I didn't get a box of chocolates and Mandy did. Tom made a time travel proposal to Sally in the XYZ dimension. I don't understand why you can't be more like Tom. Or XYZ, do you think you can guess what John gave her? She constantly draws comparisons between your relationship and those of other people. So why can't you be more like John? Why? Hopefully, you're moving towards some things you go through life. You most likely have limits set for yourself. You have a lifestyle. Alright, you've established your masculinity. The woman's actions are puzzling. This is, of course, a test of her willingness to be submissive. Testing for submission is a way for women to see if the man will adapt to their way of life. There is no way to recover from this one if you do it. Put your focus to the test in question. 8th, you should investigate the motivations behind your girlfriend's frequent social media posts featuring clothing that may or may not be revealing or otherwise intended to attract attention. Whence comes this calamity? First and foremost, people are always trying to figure out what else they can do. You're no longer her best bet or best option if she's doing any sort of exploring of other possibilities. 9th, there will be a test of respect. Exactly how do you measure respect? If your woman fails a respect test, she will either stop talking to you, respond to you slowly, or show no signs of intimacy at all. You may be wondering, why am I experiencing this? You're aware of how much female attention chicks crave, so you can see this for what it is. You've been deemed not just to be of little value, but of such little value that the time you'd be willing to give is practically worthless. Just give that a moment to sink in. Regardless of what you're willing to give, it won't matter. This exercise will show how well you manage both time and money. You need to get some distance, and the emasculation test is the 10th and final test that will be routinely administered to you. Exactly what does the emasculation test entail? Now is the time when she'll start throwing subtle hints and body language in an effort to make you think she's leaving. She wants to gauge your emotional reaction in order to better understand your character. You can still be Superman despite the hypergamous doubt. But if you allow yourself to become emotionally invested, you will lose your strength. Become the strongest man on the planet if you want to. Yes, you too can fly the flag of Captain America. But as soon as she sees that you can be swayed from rational truth by your emotions, she will no longer want to be with you. If you can pass these 10 tests, not only will you be seen as someone of great worth, but you'll also have a wide variety of potential partners to choose from, making dating in the present day or even the year 2022 a breeze.